Look at the current elite world chess rankings. As you scroll down past the absolute highest ratings, you see a clear pattern. There are no women in the top tier. The names dominating this space are exclusively male. Players like Magnus Carlsen, Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, and Fabiano Caruana. This stark absence usually leads to an uncomfortable assumption. Many look at this list and conclude men must possess a biological advantage for the game. Evaluating that claim requires looking past the chessboard. The reason a woman has never won the unrestricted World Chess Championship involves a complex intersection of statistics, cultural history, and psychology. To begin, we must establish one fact. Women are entirely capable of playing elite championship-level chess. History provides plenty of proof. Pioneers like Vera Menchik and Nona Gaprindashvili routinely dismantled male opponents. Later, Judith Polgar reached number 8 in the overall world rankings, becoming the first woman to cross the elite 2700 ELO threshold. Modern powerhouses like Hao Yifan continue to compete at exceptional rating levels. The evidence shows women can reach grandmaster status and defeat the best in the world. The actual mystery is why so few of them make it into the extreme top 10. To find out, we need to test 3 hidden variables. The first variable is historical culture. In the 19th century, a woman playing chess was treated as an unnatural phenomenon, often met with open mockery rather than an invitation to play. By the early 1900s, magazines were publishing pseudoscientific arguments, claiming women simply lacked the intellectual qualities required for greatness. This ridicule was institutionalized at the highest levels of competition. In 1929, Miel Masters joked that anyone who lost to Vera Menchik would be inducted into the Bananachessclub, a joke that quickly lost its humor when she started beating them and adding them to the roster. Decades later, the future world champion Bobby Fischer publicly dismissed women's chess abilities, explicitly stating they simply weren't smart enough. That attitude survived well into the 21st century. In 2015, Grandmaster Nigel Short argued that men and women were hardwired differently for the game. A century of being told the game doesn't belong to you creates a systemic barrier. Generations of young girls heard these messages and never sat down at a board, artificially shrinking the female talent pool from the beginning. The second variable is the psychological environment. Cognitive performance is heavily influenced by surroundings, and researchers study a specific phenomenon called stereotype threat. Experiments show a direct correlation between perception and outcome. When the opponent's gender is deliberately hidden during a match, women clearly perform at the exact same level as men. Chess is always an intensely mental struggle. Cultural stereotypes create invisible hurdles, forcing female players to navigate additional psychological pressure with every move they make. The third variable is pure statistics. The historical exclusion and psychological hurdles mean that the initial groups of players entering the game are massively disproportionate. According to the 2026 FIDE Index, women make up around 16.5% of active players and only 10.3% of standard-rated players. This visualization shows the math of an extreme tail distribution. Imagine a starting pool of 1 million boys versus 100,000 girls pouring into the competitive funnel. Even if we assume both groups possess identical underlying abilities, the mathematics dictate the outcome. The sheer volume of the much larger blue curve naturally pushes its highest performers, the extreme tail, much further into the elite rating percentiles. We can see this proven in the data. One comprehensive study of German players estimated that 96% of the rating gap between the top 100 men and women was explained purely by the fact that vastly more men were playing the game. A male-dominated top 100 does not prove men possess a biological superiority for chess. It proves that vastly more men entered the funnel in the first place. The gap at the extreme top is a mathematical mirror. It reflects a historical lack of volume and opportunity. We can now ask a more useful question. What happens to that distribution when millions more girls are given the opportunity and the environment to believe chess belongs to them? We are watching the answer unfold right now. A new generation of female talent is currently flooding the competitive circuit, led by rising stars like Vaishali. They join established elite standard bearers like Ju Wenjun, proving that the ceiling is entirely permeable. As the initial sample size of girls expands at the grassroots level, the mathematical outcome at the extreme tail will inevitably shift to reflect that volume. People spent centuries excluding women and constructing flawed assumptions to explain their absence. But the chessboard remains perfectly neutral. The 64 squares do not care about gender, culture, or history. The board only asks if you can find the best move. The next Judith Polgar isn't missing because she lacks intelligence. She has simply been waiting for an invitation to sit at the board. To explore more stories about the history, psychology, and data behind the game, subscribe to Banana Chess Club, because every move has a story.